Here are the 7-2 notes. You can fill them out in your own note sheet. So first vocab word, acute triangle. It's just a triangle with 3 acute angles, which means actually all of them are acute. And remember, acute means less than 90. Obtuse triangle means one angle is greater than 90, because of course they have to all add up to 180. So the converse of that theorem we had yesterday, or last class, said a squared plus b squared equals c squared. So this one is the converse, meaning if the square of the length of the longest side of a triangle is equal to the sum of the squares of the length of the other two sides, then you can conclude it is a right triangle. So rather than me telling you it's a right triangle and you using the Pythagorean theorem, you're going to use the Pythagorean theorem to tell me if it is. Okay, so if a squared plus b squared equals c squared, then it's a right triangle. Okay? Acute triangle theorem just says if the squares of the length of the longest side is less than the sum of the other squares, then the triangle is an acute triangle. So a squared plus b squared is less than c squared. The other one is the obtuse. So if the square of the length of the longest side of a triangle is greater than the sum of the squares of the other two sides, then the triangle is an obtuse triangle. So if a squared plus b squared is greater than c squared, then obtuse. As long as you always put your c on the right-hand side, it's pretty simple to keep straight. Equal, right, less than, acute, greater than, obtuse. Okay, so we want to verify these next ones. Okay, so here they give me 3 sides of this triangle. So I need to test and see what is 9 squared plus 15 squared. And then rather than putting an equal sign there, I should just put a question mark and say, what is that relationship to, oops, put a cube instead of a square because I'm rushing. 9 squared is 81, 15 squared is 225, and then when I do 3 root 34 squared, 3 squared is 9, and then root 34 squared is 34. So once I add these together, I'm going to put my answer up here because I ran out of space. 306 is actually equal to 306. Therefore, it is a right triangle. Okay? We're trying to test this one now. So this one's a little bit harder to tell, which are the legs, which is the hypotenuse. But remember, the hypotenuse is always the longest side, right? So this one is the hypotenuse. So I want to test what is 14 squared plus 22 squared, and what is that relationship to 26 squared? So 14 squared is 196. 22 squared is 484. 26 squared is 676. So when I add these two together, that's 680, which is greater than the third side, which is a little bit confusing because it's a greater than sign. But since this side is actually less than the sum of the other two, that means it's an acute triangle. The next one asks, can the segments with lengths 3, 6, 4 form a triangle? If so, what type of triangle would it be? So remember, first to tell the whether it can be a triangle, the rule is it has to, the sum of any two sides must be greater than the other side. So 3 plus 6 is greater than 4. 4 plus 3 is greater than 6. And 4 plus 6 is greater than 3. So yes, it's a triangle. And now we have to test to see what type of triangle it is. So if I do 3, to make this easier, I'm actually going to put c squared on the right-hand side. A squared plus b squared. So c is always the biggest, so that's 6 squared. The other two are 3 squared and 4 squared. 6 squared is 36. 3 squared is 9. And 4 squared is 16. And rather than putting in equals, because I don't know what it is yet, let me go back to doing my question marks. So 36, 25. 36 is greater than 25. So this is obtuse. All right, so in this top example, can the segments 4, 5, 6 be a triangle? First test to make sure the sum of any two sides is greater than the third. If we can do it real quick here. 4 plus 5 is greater than 6. 5 plus 6, yes, is greater than 4. And 4 plus 6 is greater than 5. So yes, it is a triangle. Now we have to decide what kind of triangle by doing this Pythagorean theorem. So now we're going to test by putting the longest side over here. 6 squared, question mark. I'm going to say 4 squared plus 5 squared. So this is 36, 16, 25. So 36 is less than 41. Therefore, this is a cute triangle. Sorry, I did them backwards. Try the extra practice, and you can check the key online because I didn't put it here. Okay.